Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here at the Southern District of New York Courthouse today, Friday, February 13th, 2026. The Alexander brothers, which usually doesn't meet on Fridays, is meeting today because they're taking 10 days off after it. So we'll be actually free to run wild. Yesterday, the expert, Lisa Rocchio, she's been in other trials that we've covered, including Kevin Spacey, where she's usually for either the government or the plaintiff in the civil side case. She explained why people may not have called 911, including the UN witness Avishon. So we're going to have more on that. We're heading in to cover it. Also, today at 11, the final pretrial conference of U.S. versus Live Nation, which is going to be a big antitrust trial, if it goes to trial. We're trying to get a feel on what the administration is going to do with that sucker, particularly with the head antitrust person suddenly out. Okay, that said, we're going to get to more on the administration at the end of this one, as to regards to the UN and the Munich Security Conference. But let's go local. First we'll do Habeas. Yesterday we wrote a habeas about it, habeas corpus petition filed by a man. Wrote 3 stories on habeas and 1 story on federal consequences in state court. The 3 habeas, one by a guy from Belarus who has been here a long time but did have some kind of a DV issue. So it's going to be hard to see whether, is that enough? Is he the worst of the worst? But he is in detention and he's filed a habeas. Also, an indigenous person from Guatemala who speaks a language I can't pronounce the name of and doesn't speak Spanish has been detained, and a woman from El Salvador who filed saying that she was going to be flown out yesterday. Got her check the docket to see what happened. In 100 Center Street, there was a guy in the myriad of presentments yesterday. Yesterday was Lincoln's birthday, so the state court was closed other than the arraignments part, and it was jam-packed. And there was a guy who had committed, charged with petty larceny and possession of stolen property for shoplifting in and around Grand Central. Inside Grand Central, there are many stores. And he apparently said to the police when he was arrested, "I really screwed up." And he really did, because there was a reference to federal consequences. Now, it's a sanctuary city, so I don't know what the consequences are going to be, but we're following that one as well. Let's cut. There's Brad Lander was here. That's another. He's going to go to trial in May. We did a live stream. You can find that. Quick financial one. It's a merger that many may not be following, but Associated Bancorp of Green Bay, Wisconsin, is buying a bank with a needs to improve CRA rating. Fair Finance Watch sub-rating. Raised it, and the Fed has asked about it, and we'll just have to see. They also did a response. Haven't looked at it yet. Going to take a look at it. Here's the UN/foreign policy piece of today's vlog. The Munich Security Conference is ongoing. AOC is going to be there later today. But this morning, there was Mike Waltz on a panel about international order. He had a blue baseball hat with him called "Make the UN Great Again," MUNGA. He handed one out. But he said that they're reforming the UN, that they've put it on a diet. And the reality is there's still massive waste. Whistleblowers continue to come forward to Inner City Press saying, like, they flew a plane to move peacekeepers, soldiers out of South Sudan, but they hadn't coordinated with the government, so it flew back empty at a cost of $300,000. Mismanagement, corruption, nepotism. And most of all, in terms of reform, the UN is still allowed to ban the press that actually writes all these stories about UN waste, because whistleblowers come here because no one else will publish it. Because Antonio Guterres is such a tyrant and the press so flaccid that they don't report on it. They just want his quotes about what he's deeply concerned about. So, litmus test for Mr. Mike Waltz. The U.S. mission has received a letter. The shocking part is that Inner City Press wrote to various missions at one time. The German mission answered. Now, their answer was ridiculous, saying it's all up to Melissa Fleming. If she wants to ban you, nothing they can do. But shouldn't the U.S. mission answer U.S. people? I don't know. It just seems MAGA or MUNGA? That's the question. If this is the last vlog of the week, have a good weekend.